Well, hey there, you. How you doing? I'm Christy, and welcome to Trailer Trash or Treasure, the show where we look at movie trailers and evaluate them as communication and as art. Since starting the series, if you've been watching along, you know that I have about 3 categories on which I evaluate film trailers, and that has to do with the visuals, the audio, sound, special effects, music, all that together, and then the concept. The more I've watched these, the more I think that the concept should be weighted a bit heavier than the other two. So from now on, I'm basically going to treat the coherency, the quality, the style of the visuals, the same for the audio, as each being worth about 25% of the total mark, and then the concept and how it's all brought together or not is going to be worth 50%. So new metric moving forward, but I think it kind of represents better the things that we would evaluate a movie trailer on. You might have noticed from my surroundings that I have a bit of a holiday theme going on, and I thought in order to get into the holiday spirit, I would go ahead and look at some of people's favorite holiday movies. I asked on Twitter for some recommendations, and today we're going to start off with reviewing the movie trailer for The Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, as you can see, I have my Bumble, I have my Shaun the Sheep Christmas stocking. I also have some other things from the Christmas show, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Oh no, my guy fell over. And it's just to give me the feel of the holidays, and I hope you all enjoy it. We probably all know that Tim Burton directed The Nightmare Before Christmas, and it was published in 1993. So let's go and find out what they thought was a cool movie trailer in 1993. Ooh, visuals.
Welcome to an extraordinary world filled with magic and wonder. Open your mind and let yourself go.
Okay, you know that I usually stop within the first sometimes 10 to 15 seconds to give an impression. So far we've got a voiceover, and we have a series of images that look cool, but currently they're not put together in a way that give me a hint as to what the story is about. The animation presented seems to be presented in order to show off the animation, which is fine, but as you know, I kind of like trailers to immerse me in the world that they're building and connect me to the characters of the film, since you're asking me to spend an hour and a half to 2 hours with them. The voiceover distances that because we end up seeing things from an outsider's point of view. And let's see how the rest of the trailer goes.
To a place where every day is Halloween, and every night Jack Skellington
I am the Pumpkin King!
dreams of something
Oh, that's a
different.
classic image, right?
What is this? It's someplace new. Jack, look out!
Okay, if we think about this as thirds, the first third of the trailer was setting up a little bit about the story. Now we're introduced to a character named Jack. We're getting a little bit of a narrative with the visuals that tell us he's obviously like living in a sort of Halloween world, which we know from the movie, but let's just say we don't know anything about this. And he's now sucked into a different world. So we're starting to get here a little sense of what the actual content of the film is, and we're getting a link to one of the characters.
What's this? What's this? There's color everywhere. What's this? There's white things in the air. What's this? I can't believe my eyes. I must be dreaming. Wake up, Jack. This isn't fair. What is this?
Okay, fine.
Haven't you heard of peace on earth and goodwill toward men?
Touchstone Pictures presents the enchanting story of two very special dreamers and the holiday spirit.
Sorry, who's the other dreamer? I don't think this passes the Bechdel test. We've been introduced to Jack, but other than seeing this female character occasionally, for instance, in a few scenes ago, she was concerned about Jack. Like, she's literally an empty vessel with no name. That seems to me kind of a strange thing to sell the film on when we've only been introduced to the male character. So just commenting.
spirit that brought them together. From the imagination of Tim Burton comes The Nightmare Before Christmas.
And what did Santa bring you, honey?
Well, okay. I'm gonna do a timeout to think about what I want to say here. All right, I'm back. What did you think of The Nightmare Before Christmas as a movie trailer? My impression was, I guess it feels like a bit of a visual merry-go-round carousel in that we're seeing lots of bits of things, but there isn't a real connected whole. We have the narration introducing us to the world. We have a series of visuals showing off the animation. Then we move into a second part where we're sort of introduced to Jack, to the world and to Jack. And so we're meant to identify with Jack, but we don't really we get a visual sort of hint at what is happening in his struggle. But the trailer seems to be more interested in hitting little comedy beats, like at the end and with Santa, the opening up the skull and scratching the brain. And as a consequence, although it ends up providing me a lot of visuals, it's a love story. If that's really the narrative, I'm gonna take these off now. If that's really the narrative driving it, and the fact that it's a holiday movie crossing over Halloween and Christmas, like I get that part. But if Jack's main motivation is this love story, who is this woman? Like we never make any contact with her. So now it is time to evaluate. And this is where I'm going to talk about like my new metric, counting for maybe changing up how I do some of the ratings. Visually, it's very pretty, but it's not visually coherent. All right, and this comes back to more of the concepts thing, but what I'm seeing is a lot of little pieces of stuff that are impressive, but I'm not connecting with it. Sound-wise, I can't fault the sound. On the visuals, I'm going to give kind of a meh, because it's not like there's anything wrong with them, but the visuals that were being chosen really don't feed into a connection with the film. It's more flash and less substance. Sound-wise, the sound is actually very good. Everything, I like the inclusion of the What's This song, which of course is like the catchiest tune I think most people would remember from the film. And there is the introduction of Jack, so we get to hear his voice. I think it's a little heavy on the voiceover. And we're talking about something from going on, 20 years ago. The whole, this summer, coming to a theater near you, was very much in vogue, very much the style. So I do understand where they're coming from in that. However, I don't know that the narration really tells us anything that we couldn't have been, that the trailer could have communicated through the movie and through the characters. And so the sound I'll give a treasure to. I don't necessarily think that the fault of this comes down to a lack of being able to hear things or the mixing or the sound effects. It comes down to the concept. And at the end of the day, this is just not a concept I think is the most effective. Imagine a trailer done where, you're basically, think about the bridge to Terabithia. You're brought into the Halloween version, right? I think this Christmas Town, I can't remember. I might have watched this movie years ago. I don't remember the details. But you get, this Halloween introduction with some Christmas music over it, or something along those lines. But, kind of like just dip us into Jack's world, introduce us to his relationship so that when he does get sucked away, it's meaningful to us. Right now, it's just a thing we know, but it's not something we're invested in. So as much as I don't have negative feelings about The Nightmare Before Christmas whatsoever, but at the end of the day, I'm going to have to give this trailer a meh. It's just not getting me that excited. It's making me laugh, and it's showing me it's entertaining, but I don't really feel like a compulsion, like the gotta. I gotta see what happens in this movie. I would imagine if I would go, it'd be more like an adult who's watching something that is made for kids, and I don't necessarily think that that's really what the film ends up being like. So there you go, a meh for Tim Burton's trailer, not for the movie, for the trailer. What do you think? Did you think I was too harsh? Do you think I should have standards for 1990s trailers? Or do you think that that's fair? That really they could have put a little bit more effort and thought into the emotional connection that this trailer made with their audience? Tell me what you think in the comments section below. And again, if you have a movie that you'd like to recommend, you can drop that there as well. Until next time, I've been Christy, and the Bumble's been awesome. You've been awesome. We'll see each other again really soon. Bye.